My name is Sara. I'm 35 years old, and I do the communications at the Stein Eye Institute at UCLA.
My name is Eddie. I'm 33 years old, and I'm a customer service specialist at Southern California Edison. So we both had a time when we were younger, before we met each other, long before we met each other, right? Yeah, I would say years and years. We both actually had weight problems.
Yeah, he calls it stuffed ravioli. I showed him a picture. He's like, "You look like a stuffed ravioli."
Wow.
Yeah, I know, but it makes me laugh. Like, it's not. I mean, I thought it was funny. It's you know, I did though. I mean, I was pretty chubby.
So I had my own personal thing. Right after high school, going into college, I gained, what, like 30 pounds or?
Yeah, I've seen pictures of him from that.
I gained a lot of weight, and I think being in that state where I gained a ton of weight and I was new to a school, and you know, you're growing up, you're becoming more aware of the other sex and how you look and how you present yourself. It really made me aware that I need to do something, and not only do I need to do it then, but I need to continually do it, because every time I would stop exercising or stop eating right, I would gain weight again.
Before we met, I think I definitely had more time for exercise. Although when we first started dating, we would exercise together
quite often.
Yeah, I mean, and we kept it up, I think, for a good portion of the like our early time together, especially prior to the wedding.
Yeah,
we were really disciplined.
We'd go walking.
Yeah,
we definitely kept it up quite a bit. And where I was before I met Sarah was, I would say I was in pretty good shape. I was working out, I was eating well, and then lo and behold, I meet Sarah, and she likes to indulge a little bit, so.
Well, you know, when you start dating, then you're going out and eating at new places and things like that, so.
Right.
But we were still, like, we'd still go to the beach and, like, go for walks and things like that, so it didn't immediately start. I feel like where we are now is probably the worst that we've been. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, well, when I think about the two of us and what we like to eat, yeah, I have more of the sweet tooth. I definitely like richer food. That's like my ongoing battle to try
it's not even a contest.
It is.
Really isn't.
Yeah, he's much better at like whatever is around to eat, he'll eat it. And he definitely, I think, tries to eat healthier. So, yeah.
She has candy around now.
No, it's bad. It's really bad.
There's desserts. If we go out to eat, she'll save room for dessert. I never, ever used to save room for dessert. And now I actually do. So that's been an
probably
interesting
bad.
influence.
It's bad. I think that's going to have to change. When I think about getting back on track, I know I will need his help, especially with the baby, just in terms of, you know, thinking about if I want to go take a walk or whatever. I mean, he's going to have to watch the baby and things like that.
I'm going to need to almost either influence her to do it, or I don't want to say this in a bad way, but maybe sell her on doing something a little bit better. I think she usually wants to, but her energy levels dictate kind of whether she can or she can't. And it's going to have to be a team effort.
But just the fact that you have somebody saying, like, let's go together is already a good, I mean, that's a good catalyst that would get me going rather than having to do it on my own.
And that's what I have to get used to. I usually just, I'll just leave. I'll just go. Now I have to be, you know, thinking about her and saying, okay, let's go together.
I am also thinking now too about the baby and how we're going to be as a couple, as parents, and you know, the types of foods we're going to feed our kid, and that if I don't get certain things under control with myself, that I don't want to pass on bad habits to my kid, things like that. Our kid.
I don't want to have the same problems that I see people around me having in their 40s and 50s. You know, I knew a guy who he was overweight, and he actually ended up dying in his 30s from a heart attack. You know, things like that, just it frightens me, and I don't want that to happen to me. And I definitely don't want it to happen.
And I need
to
to try to have a good energy level with everything that's going on too, and that's a big thing. I mean, if I don't eat well, if I don't exercise enough, I can feel my energy just starting to plummet, and it's just depressing to start to feel that way, because I don't think, I mean, we're not that old, we're not that young, but you know, mid-30s, it's I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't be at the point where you're just like passed out or whatever. You don't have energy to do things. So
right.
Yeah.
I think what I try to do when I influence her, or when I try to influence her, is I come from a positive place. You know, I try not to criticize. I try not to attack in a way where it makes her defensive.
Well, and I feel bad if I bring something home, I know that he will want to eat it. So, and then if he's like, oh, I'm putting on a little weight or whatever, I feel responsible also partly for him. So it's like there's a sort of like, I don't know, it's like a symbiotic thing. Like I feel
if she brings anything
I feel
home,
bad
I
enough
will
for
find
myself.
It. Even if she tries to hide it,
I also
will
don't
find it all.
Yeah, I don't want him to like be. I don't want to be such a bad influence on him either. You know, so it's good in that way. I mean,
what I've learned and from our relationship, and what I can try to give to other couples who are just starting out or are going through the same problems that we are, I would say cook together and shop together. I would say those are the two biggest things, because at that point, the more shopping I do with her, the more I learn about what she really likes.
It's more fun too. It feels like less of a chore if you do it together.
Yeah, you get to talk about your day. You know, you get to really kind of discuss with one another what's going on in your life. And when I shop with her, it makes things easier, because then I get to see what she likes. So if there's any particular vegetable or fruit that she's buying, I can really tell what she wants to get or what she likes. And if there's anything sweet or anything bad that she might want to get, at that point I can cut it off at the pass and just be
before I bring it home. We've had those conversations in the grocery store where I'm like, I really want to get this. He's like, no. I'm like, yeah, you're right, and I just put it back. You know, it helps to have him there with me, if possible. As much as we can do of it together is helpful.
And then cooking together, I think I've learned the most probably cooking with her than, trying it myself or from anyone else. It makes me want to be a better cook myself or prepare better meals, especially when she's preparing something and she asks me to maybe chop certain things or do certain tasks. It's just nice. It's nice to help out.
And I would say, like, maybe not to take things too personally. I mean, we kind of have a sense of humor about things. Like, like I was talking earlier about how I had gained weight at certain times in the past, and it's okay. I don't get all bent out of shape if I'm putting out a little weight or whatever. I'm not gonna get all upset, and because I already know. But he's also very sensitive to things about the way that he handles things. So, but yeah, I think especially for women, that can be a touchy subject. You don't necessarily want your husband to like lie to you. Sometimes you know something, but it's all in the way that somebody handles things.
I would say you really have to handle
with a lot
that
of
well.
love. You have to say things with a lot of love and affection.
It's almost like you have to sandwich it. If there's going to be a criticism, you have to give the positive statement, the criticism, and then a lot of love right behind it. Just kind of sandwich it all together.
It's not really a criticism. It's just that if you notice it,
Right.
I mean, really, you don't even really need to say much to a woman for her to be like, it's anything that's not like totally positive. I think a woman can jump on it and be like, "What do you mean?" But he's good about making me generally. I think if you feel loved, you feel like you still have the affection and all that kind of stuff. Then if someone's like, "Hey, why don't you go running with me?" or whatever, you don't get this thing of like, "What are you trying to do?" I mean, what are you trying to say? Like, do I need to lose weight or what is it?
Yeah, I think being more inclusive about it, and instead of criticizing or attacking or nitpicking.
Yeah.
I think nitpicking is where we would probably fight if we started doing that. But being more, we should do this. We should do this together as a couple. It really helps.
Yeah.